Hey guys, it's Justin. When you get done with this podcast, do us a favor, give us a 5-star rating and a positive review, and then head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. As always, for all of our content, go over to garageathletes.com, sign up for our newsletter. Today on Garage Athletes Podcast, we talk with Rocky Piwko. Rocky's an adaptive athlete and a member of Team Some Assembly Required. He's also owner of CrossFit Douglasville. We got a chance to sit down with him. I was really inspired by his story. Check this one out. Hey guys, not all athletes are created equal. Individual programs are the best way to reach your full athletic potential, but they're expensive. We've created a training system that allows us to test you and place you into one of our program designs based on your strengths and weaknesses. Because of this, you can get the full effect of an individualized program without the cost. So go check it out under programs at garageathletes.com. What's going on, guys? It is another episode of Garage Athletes Podcast. I am Justin, your host, with my co-host
Brandon Phillips.
Yes, and we are here with Rocky, and I don't want to screw your last name up, so can you say it?
It would be Piwko.
Piwko. Okay.
Piwko.
Sounds really simple, but there's like a W somewhere in there.
It's silent.
It's silent.
What background is that? What nationality?
It's actually Polish, and the original version of it is Piwko.
Piwko. And is there
Rocky
there's not
Piwko.
an F in there, though, is there?
Nope.
That's even more weird. What's going on?
That's the
with
Polish.
We got the whole. It's like the Polish already making jokes, but it's the Brazilians. The R's sound like H's, and Hispanic. Like Horace Gracie instead of Royce Gracie, right?
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
And we did a podcast with Rafael, which people would call him Raphael. That's 2 podcasts in a row we're talking about grammar and like stuff. We start out, maybe we shouldn't do that. But yeah, then any Spanish would be like Jose, like Jose. The J's are like Jose's. That's weird. So apparently W's
Jesus.
are F's in Poland. Okay.
Nobody messes with the Jesus.
So if anybody doesn't know who Rocky is, start off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I own a CrossFit gym in Douglasville. I started that a little over 3 years ago, and I am an adaptive athlete. I'm missing my right arm. I was born that way.
Now, not the whole right arm, but it's just, is it part of your ulnar and radius? Like,
it's if you were to make a fist and just bind it together is pretty much what it was.
Okay.
So, because that's pretty much what it looked like when I was born. They didn't realize I had one hand because both my fists were like that until they, of course, examined it and realized,
Huh. So it didn't happen in like an accident or anything like that? You were just born with it? Did they just say just like a genetic defect or
just
something?
A genetic defect. They never came up with a reason or anything like that. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing that was wrong or deformed with you?
Other than that, and maybe a little bit of brain damage.
But they're still debating that.
Debating that, yes.
All right.
Where's his wife at? We need to ask her.
She left.
She would confirm.
We started. The microphones came out, and she was like, "I'm leaving."
Gone.
So and she was like, "Don't make a fool out of yourself." So continue. So you own a gym there, and talk about adaptive athlete.
Well, adaptive athlete, there's a wide range of that. I mean, I feel everybody's adaptive in some form or fashion. Just some of us are more profound, missing a leg, missing an arm, missing both legs and arms. Some of us, have never worked out before. Some of us are obese. As far as adaptive, I feel is just everybody, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. So. But adaptive athlete itself is about people that are a little bit more
profound,
physically.
Yes.
Have to adapt. So did you start that, or where did that come from? The adaptive athlete.
I actually started with a group called I Am Adaptive.
Okay.
And they're trying to spread the word of being adaptive, trying to get rid of the term handicapped or disabled, because it just has a stigma to it.
Yeah.
We're just adaptive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah, just different.
Yes.
Everybody's completely
Right,
different.
right.
So some people are different in different ways. That's pretty cool. I like that.
So when y'all started the adaptive thing, now you do clinics right now, right?
Yes,
Or
but they do.
seminars,
Yes,
they
yes.
do, and you're part of that.
I'm part of that.
So like, how is that going on right now? Is that like getting momentum in the CrossFit world or like general fitness world? Because I mean, it's kind of like a population. I mean, people think about it, and it's kind of like what you probably thought about. A lot of your people, you say everybody's adaptive and obese and everything. They think that, I can't exercise,
Right.
I can't do this. But with you in the adaptive athlete program, you're saying you can, and this is
Right.
we just have to work with your limitations and what you have. So is that picking up steam wherever you're going, like in the CrossFit gyms and all that?
Yeah, it's actually picking up a lot of momentum. I mean, the more you look around, I mean, more people are being more and more aware of it, especially with the social media and everything. So
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
with Wadapalooza, I mean, that was huge
Yes,
down there.
yeah.
With Wadapalooza, seeing those athletes down there, and I don't know the details. Were you down there at Wadapalooza?
No, I missed that one. So, but I am actually with the group Team SAR, Some Assemblies Required, which is an adaptive elite team. So that are traveling around.
That is the coolest stand.
That is, yeah, that is pretty bad. Is that a website?
Yes, yes.
Speaking of which, I had to stop right here. You have the single coolest social media handle that I've ever seen in my entire life. So if you go follow Rocky it's single-handedly.
Single-handedly.
And it's spelled differently too, right? How does it spelled?
Instead of an E after SINGL underscore handedly.
Yeah. So it's just the most. I don't know. When I saw that, I was like, "That is amazing. That is awesome." So did you start as a CrossFitter, or because you're really pursuing Olympic weightlifting right now?
Yes, I am.
Did you start as a CrossFitter and move on to that, or have you always just looked into weightlifting, or because I think I've seen you doing some muscle ups?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he worked out at CrossFit Kennesaw with me, like, what, 2-3 years ago?
wow,
it's been a while ago.
It's been a long time
It's
ago.
almost 5
So,
years
yeah,
ago.
like
Yeah,
5
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Man, time flies.
Yeah.
Time flies. Yeah, but I mean, that's when I met him a long time ago.
So you started as CrossFit, and
Yeah.
what drew you to that? I mean, obviously you've had this since birth.
Yes.
You've been the way you are since birth, I should say. And so there have been some difficulties doing certain things in life. So I guess that's driven you to do maybe things that people say that you couldn't do.
Absolutely.
Has that just been the way you've been the whole time? Like, have you always seeked out fitness, or before fitness was it something else? Like,
I've always was into fitness, and actually in my 20s I had busted my back up.
Okay.
And I was really into powerlifting, weightlifting back then, and that really crushed me. The doctor pretty much said I'm never going to be able to lift again.
wow, for your back, like you broke your back?
Yeah.
That's what all
he-
doctors say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they do say-
Don't lift ever.
Doctor.
Don't ever lift again. And he said I'd probably never lift more than 10, 20 pounds ever again in my life. And I just went into a spiral, and all they wanted to do was pump me full of pain medicine. Long story short, 12 years of just gaining weight, getting hooked on pain pills. I ended up blowing up to 300 pounds.
I've seen some pictures
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
We need to post some of those pictures.
Yeah, we'll post some
before
of the
and
stuff,
afters.
and there's a really cool video talking about the doctor say you wouldn't lift 10 or 20 pounds over your head. There's a cool video of you putting like 200 pounds over your head.
Yeah.
Which is pretty, one of the most amazing things I've seen. I think the first time I got a chance to meet you was at one of the meets that we did at the Garage Games over at the gym, and watching you snatch. I think I was running the table. I was on the microphone, and I didn't even meet you before it, and came out there. I'm like, holy crap, what's about to happen? Like, I didn't know what to. I'm honestly,
Right.
I mean, nothing bad, but I didn't know what to think. I was like, this could be bad. And then, like, it was a miracle. Like, I was like, holy crap, how did he do that? That is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And like, from then on, I was like, man, I gotta. That's the first thing I thought of too. We need a podcast with this guy and talk to him about what he's been through in his life. So, you were doing powerlifting before CrossFit?
Before I broke my back, yes.
Yes. And,
Yeah.
and then doctors told you the same old story they always tell everybody. They don't want to get sued, I guess, whatever.
Right.
And then where did it go from there?
Well, 12 years later, I decided one day that this wasn't me, because fitness has always been in me. And I've always told people when I was gaining weight, what I used to do. I used to do this and used to do that. And to me, I always thought when I was telling people that, they were looking at me and going, yeah, right. So just one night, I was sitting on the couch, 3 o'clock in the morning, with a bowl of cereal on my stomach, like a TV tray, just eating away,
That's awesome.
and said, this is not me. And I had set that bowl down and haven't turned away since. So,
Man,
That's awesome.
I eat a lot of cereal.
oh, I still eat cereal.
It's like, I came back to the cereal about 6 months later.
He's like, whoa. I didn't say I stopped eating cereal. I said I started working out. So, what's your favorite kind of cereal?
That's whenever you cuts off to a little slideshow and it's the Lucky Charms coming in and beating
Yeah.
Rocky's ass. You liar!
Well, right now it's Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've always been
Oh,
a
yeah.
fan of the Reese's Puffs. Remember those? And
Those
then
are good.
before
Then
those
you
came
drink
out,
the chocolate milk after.
Yeah.
absolutely. And then before that, it was the Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch is good
Captain
too.
Crunch
Yeah.
was
Then it
legit.
cuts the roof of your mouth, though.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, there's this perfect amount of time you have to wait for the milk to get into where it's not
Yeah.
too soggy and not too crunchy.
Right.
Now I want cereal.
You gotta-
buy something after
You
this.
got to step your cereal game up, man.
Yeah, I'm Fruity Pebbles and Lucky Charms. The other day, like 2 weeks ago, since we upped our training like for the games, I've been just craving whatever I can get. I literally sat there and I felt like you when you were sitting there with that bowl in your stomach. I had the bag out looking for marshmallows because I ate all the marshmallows out of the Lucky
Like a
Charms
fiend.
bag. Like a fiend, just looking for that marshmallow. And I ate every single marshmallow out of a bag of Lucky Charms. Then I had to throw the bag away because then you're not going to eat just dry cereal.
Yeah, who does that?
So yeah, I like Lucky Charms.
That's funny. So, what? How did you find out about CrossFit? Because it sounds to me like you were doing your powerlifting, and then the doctors told you, and I guess the CrossFit was the next thing. Did you just walk into a box? Did you see it online? Or
No, actually, I had just gone back to a regular gym and then slowly started working out. And at that time, I had lost contact with my best friend that I grew up with.
What did your workouts look like when you were just doing the regular gym?
Just your bench, your squat, your deadlift. Your
Okay, so
typical.
still doing
yeah,
power.
yeah,
You
yeah.
weren't doing like bicep curls and like pec flies.
No,
or
no.
whatever. Yeah.
Just your typical. Yeah.
Cool.
And he finally got a hold of me one day, and we were talking. I was telling him how I was getting back into shape, and he happened to be running a CrossFit up in Rhode Island, and I never heard about it or anything.
Yeah.
And so he says, "You need to check it out," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll check it out," and I never did.
Sure, man. See you later.
Whatever.
Good talking to you.
So that went on for probably about 3-4 months of us talking, and he came down to visit for a week, and he was starting to show me videos, and I'm like, I love this. I gotta find a box near me. And
How long ago was this?
this is about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago.
So it
yeah.
was still there were boxes up around there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's, especially in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around here, the Georgia area has always been huge. So you just walked into a box.
Yep.
What was the name of the gym that you went into?
At the time, it was Aaron's CrossFit. It was at a Knuckle Up. It was like in
Okay.
corner somewhere,
Yeah.
didn't really have a name yet or anything like that. He had just got his L1 and started running it, and eventually what happened there, I kind of picked up on everything pretty quickly, and he said, why don't you get your cert and start helping me coach? So that happened, and shortly after that place right there had gone out of business. So he sold all his stuff and he sold it to me, so I started doing private lessons.
Oh wow.
And then from there, that's when I went to Kennesaw and started working for Chris over there. Yeah.
Okay. So he
just-
sold you his like equipment.
Yep.
And then you just brought it over to Kennesaw.
No, I actually kept it at my house and did private training.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I got you. So it wasn't like a huge like gym.
No,
Now
no.
it was a small amount.
Very
of equipment
small,
that you're
yeah.
doing and going over to CrossFit Kennesaw. Cool.
Yeah.
What made you? Or I'm assuming you're still doing CrossFit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. What when was the first time you did a weightlifting meet? Was it the one that
The garage,
at
yep.
the garage?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy. So you had, I mean,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't. I had no idea.
Yep.
So you were training leading up to that. Did you change anything for it, or like have you always lifted with a strap? Because you have. Explain exactly, because I was curious and just watching. It's an amazing thing. Exactly what you do to get the bar there, because you have to kind of almost balance it
Yeah.
when you get over your head, or there's a strap.
For the snatches, I tie power strap onto my arm tightly onto the bar.
Mhm.
So I mean, to put it simply, yeah.
Yeah.
It's tied to the bar.
Okay.
And up until about a month ago, actually, I wasn't able to go up too heavy in weight because, well, I'm tied to the bar. I can't bail. I didn't
Yeah.
have to worry about, losing the weight.
Yeah.
Or I always had to come back down. And just recently I figured out a way to be able to release the bar. So now the weight's going up in my lips.
How does that happen?
How do I release?
Yeah, how do you release
It's
it?
really hard to explain. It's just a little
I'm
wiggle,
sure- I'm
a
sure
little
it
wiggle that
doesn't-
I do
okay.
as it's coming down. It's still scary. I mean, there's times it feels like it's not going to release.
I
but
feel
I'm
like
working
that
on it.
when I'm doing it, because when I snatch with straps, and like you just kind of get used to it. You hold on to it and then you let go.
Yeah.
And
I don't.
and I've had it.
I've never missed behind me on a snatch. I can't remember.
You
ever
haven't?
missing. No, it freaks
Finish
me
your
out.
pull, Brandon.
It freaks me out, man. It freaks me out. Yeah, if you ever see me miss behind, there's something wrong.
It's more scary. Well, they say missing behind is a better sign than missing.
Oh yeah,
forward,
like
but
whenever somebody misses behind in the gym,
It's
I'm
more
like,
scary.
count that. That's a good lift.
Like, that's a good lift. Good old college try.
You need to add more weight. If you're missing behind, you add more weight.
Yeah, you just have enough weight on the bar. You're pulling it too high. No, but still, like the thing that bothers me the most though is people that should have missed it behind, and they're scared of missing it behind, so they try and push it forward.
Yeah.
And that's when people get hurt.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't come across very well in audio or whatever, but you do have some articulation in I guess the wrist joint.
Yeah,
or
I can bend my
whatever,
wrist. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then. Is it? Oh, I wish we would have seen that. He just put his hand up to the microphone and just went weaky, weaky. Like, I don't know if you're waving it to. That's great. So the clean and jerk, is it? I'm trying to describe it well, because I've seen it plenty of times.
Yeah.
We can put videos up on it or whatever.
yeah,
but
well-
you do basically the same thing. Basically, you go like, is it an over/under grip?
Yes.
That you do, and then and correct me if I'm wrong. When you
Pretty,
bring it
it's
up,
pretty awesome.
it's almost like a continental clean. If you've seen like the strongmen do it, you bring it up there and then you shoot your arm around, and your arm is up and it's resting on your shoulder.
Right.
Right. So, and then actually, I think recently you just kind of switched it a little bit.
To a
'cause
crossover, yeah.
Edward Baker over at Coffee's Gym. You guys, what did he change about it?
Now I cross my arm over so I can actually get more base on my shoulder.
Okay.
To where here sometimes it would roll off.
Yeah. So instead of just the front delt, it's more of like you're actually, I guess, kind of internally rotated the way it is or whatever.
And he actually got that from watching a video of old footage of like strongmen when they're doing a continental clean, and most of them are big, huge guys. They don't have that mobility to get on their shoulders, so they would actually have to release their arm to catch it onto their shoulders. I don't know why I'm demonstrating because they can't see me.
It's okay. Everybody
Right, we got it. We got it.
I got the GoPro. Let me get my camera up and do this here.
You should put it up right there in the corner.
Yep. So, okay, and then after that, again, you just, because you don't use a strap when you clean.
No, I don't.
So
I used to, but not anymore.
again, you kind of balance it on that joint, and then you get it overhead.
Yeah.
And it's the coolest and scariest thing, again, I've ever seen. And what made you like, okay, I understand adaptive. I understand we want to do things that we can't do, or that, people say that we can't do. And I, everybody understands that. And as far as CrossFit, but just saying, okay, I'm going to do weightlifting. What was going through your head when you said I want to do a competition in weightlifting? Because it's just those two movements, and it's such a
Technical
a niche thing and such a
niche.
technical thing.
Yeah.
Was that literally the only reason you wanted to do it, or did you just find yourself really enjoying it? Because to me, like, you move amazingly, and I mean, obviously you've spent a lot of time doing it. So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is maybe you could put energy into other things, but you seem to have put a lot of time and energy into that. Do you just really love weightlifting?
Yes, I love weightlifting, and I love the challenge of just the weightlifting. Yes. I mean, yeah.
So, cool, man. Well, I'll tell you what, adaptive athlete, and what is the name of your gym that you're at now?
CrossFit Douglasville.
CrossFit Douglasville. And now is that your gym that you own?
Yes,
you
it
said?
is.
And how is that doing? How are your members doing? Do you have a good amount of adaptive athletes there too, or is it just like a normal box, like Bound or Garage or something like that?
Yeah, it's just a normal box. Recently, I've been getting more and more adaptive athletes coming because they're seeing more and more on the social media and stuff like that, and the whole awareness with the I Am Adaptive, and now with the Team SAR. So yeah.
Cool. Brandon, have you ever been to CrossFit Douglasville?
No, I keep telling him I want to go by there. I haven't driven through there, and I can't remember last time I was in Douglasville. Probably 2002 or 3 when I was at University of West Georgia.
I have to admit,
I worked at Abercrombie in Douglasville.
Yeah, I saw your hair. I saw your hair. You definitely worked it.
Yeah, I worked there for like 3 weeks, and I was like, I can't do this.
I have no idea where Douglasville is. I would have to look at it on a map. How far away is it from here?
It took about an hour, almost an hour.
Yeah, it's on 20 past Six Flags.
So when you're driving up to Coffee's to train, like how often are you doing that? Because that's in Marietta. That's about an hour too, right?
About 45 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm doing it once a week right now. Just trying to get some extra tips, extra coaching. So,
what would you say? Your overall goal is because you just recently got your level 1 certification for USAW as well, or I guess is it coach's prep or sports performance or what
sports
they call
performance
it?
now.
Yeah, they changed the name of it or whatever it is.
Yeah, sports performance.
And you got that with Rachel Balmashino and Edward Baker.
Edward, yeah.
And what was that just, I guess, the next step for you? Or do you want to move on to coaching weightlifting, or do you think that was just to help you with CrossFit?
I eventually do want to coach weightlifting, yes. But I really want to get into the whole competing and try to see how high up I can go. So,
okay. Now, what are because I'm not 100% sure about the whole rules, like on a USAW level. Have you looked into that? Do they grant you exceptions if you're adaptive to be able to use straps and things like that?
I'm Rocky. It doesn't matter. So.
He walks on the platform, says, "Watch, bitch.
Try me.
Try me. I'm about to lift this shit.
Try to no lift me." But have you looked into it at all, or?
I have actually had people look into it, and there's nothing saying that I can't. So.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. So I was just curious because I know if I were to do a meet with a strap on or something like that, they would it wouldn't count or whatever. But I would assume that there would be exceptions.
Right.
Just like they made exceptions for was it Kulsum Abdul, because her religious background wouldn't let her wear a singlet.
Yeah.
So they let her wear this skin-colored leotard or something like that. And so I'm sure they're making exceptions. I was just sure, how much. I wasn't sure if you looked into that or how much they're accepting that, because I would imagine as CrossFit gets bigger and as the adaptive athlete kind of as you see more adaptive athletes come into the sport and fall in love with weightlifting as you have, it's going to become more of an issue. Maybe it's not now, but it's going to become more of I shouldn't say issue, but it's become more of a topic.
Right.
That needs to be addressed. So man, that's cool, man. I'll definitely look into that. I'll look into USAW, and we got some friends there, and we'll see. Because I would love to see you. How old are you now?
45.
45. So you're a Pan Am. You didn't get a chance to go to the Pan Ams in Savannah, though, did you?
No.
Where are your numbers at, though? Aren't your numbers for 45 are probably pretty close? Because 45. What weight class are you?
Well, now I'm going to 69.
Going to 69.
Yeah.
Have you looked at the totals?
Too many Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
What were you before? Were you a 77?
77, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So going down.
Yeah.
Cutting out the Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're going down. Okay.
So, I'd have to look at the numbers, but I would imagine, because what are your best lifts right now, training?
Clean and jerk, 275.
275?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's crazy. So,
yeah.
And then...
Snatch, right now it's 155.
Okay, but still, so
Going
about
up.
a 70 kilo, 100, so that's a 200 kilo total. That's still actually...
It's pretty close.
Yeah, our
pretty close for
our
Pan Ams.
45, 77 kilo lifter got silver at Pan Am's, Donovan Conrad.
Yeah.
Shout out to Donovan Conrad. He's a 45, 77 kilo lifter, and I think his total, he went, I think his total was under 200. So, and the best total was under 277. So 69, you probably could have brought home gold had you have gone to do it. So that's yeah. Like, what the heck, man? What the heck? So
What the hell, bro?
I gotta go.
You gotta go.
I gotta go. I gotta
So
go.
in other words,
I
you're
gotta
going
train.
to our 4th of July meet, right?
Yeah.
Well, have you signed up for the 4th of
Yes,
July?
I have.
You're going to be there?
Yes.
That's going to be cool. That's
Yes.
going to be a really cool one. We're going to do it. We're going to light off some firecrackers. And,
outside.
yeah, maybe
As
some
Rocky
water.
snatches and hits his clean and jerk to qualify for the Pan Ams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's too late for the Pan Am Masters this year,
but
like even American Open, so.
Once he hits a clean and jerk, we're going to set a firework off.
That's what I want to do. I want to not to promote our competition or whatever, but I do want to like have fireworks. I always talk about that.
Like the biggest lift of each weight class.
Absolutely,
you want fireworks to go
or
off.
at least when people get the when they walk out, like there's smoke and like we talked about that.
It's like WWE.
I want to be like WWE. Why not? Screw it. I think more people would be.
I want somebody to come out like the Ultimate Warrior does in that little one where he just comes out screaming. Somebody come out in a singlet, just
start shaking the bar like he did the rope.
Yeah.
Oh man. So Rocky, what we were talking about food. We were talking about cereal. What does your diet look like? Are you like super clean? Like, do you train a bunch and eat whatever you want to, or?
Well, I keep it somewhat clean. Right
not
now,
paleo though, right?
Not paleo.
Okay.
No, I'm actually on the.
He's trying to make gains.
Does
bro.
anybody
Yeah.
make paleo? Does anybody do paleo anymore?
No, they
Is that a
realize
thing?
they
No.
don't make gains in that.
No.
You
It's
look
like
good.
USB
You look good.
2.
You look good in a bathing suit with paleo, but you don't lift a barbell.
I don't know about that. So you look good in a bathing suit,
You look good
paleo.
in a bathing-
I didn't
that's
look good in a
that's like
bathing
the
suit
second time
paleo.
I've ever had abs was when I was paleo.
Man, I
I
had
still got
abs,
that
but
picture on my
nothing
phone
else.
to show people. It's like a picture I sent. I'm like, oh yeah, I had abs.
Look at that. I had abs. It's all because of avocado and almonds.
A lot of steak and avocado.
So what does it look like? Take us through your daily routine when you wake up? What is the first thing you do in the morning? And not just food wise, but what's the first thing you do in the morning?
I have a big old bowl of cereal.
Okay,
I do.
cool. Yeah.
I go to the box. I coach a class. And then the next hour, I train myself. Coach throughout the day. Midday, I train again. As far as nutrition, I'm on a flex nutrition diet right now, which is basically watching my macros and whatever it takes to get those macros in.
You just eating flex.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was too. So is it like Renaissance periodization, like where you focus on the timing of when you get your macros in, or is
No,
it
the timing.
just macros?
Just the macros,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And I mean, you can use this whether you eat like crap or if you're on paleo.
Yeah.
I'd say about 80% clean as far as what I eat, and obviously I eat cereal, so
I'm
That's the
100%
other 20%,
paleo,
yeah.
60% of the time. So, all right. So you start out the day with cereal,
Mhm.
and is there anything special that you do in the morning when you wake up? Like, do you have? I mean, are you someone who's into meditating, or do you just get up, get right, go and eat your cereal, and go to the gym, or do you have?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I
Yeah.
go to the gym, get class started, coach class, train.
What time is this? Like, is this the 5:30, 6 a.m. class?
6 a.m. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And what did you do? So the gym is your job now, right?
Yes.
Full time.
Yes.
What did you do before that?
Personal trained.
So you did personal. So you've
Mhm.
always been into fitness,
Training.
Yes.
pretty much
Yes.
always. Cool. Well, what are some of the struggles and maybe the hardest thing growing up adaptive that you've had to face, and how have you kind of overcome those things? Like, if you had to name one or maybe two things, like either a certain period in time in your life where it was difficult for you, or maybe just one certain instance that maybe you could tell the listeners, and maybe someone else is going through the same thing.
Well, I think the only thing that was difficult is when I was real young with the bullying.
Yeah.
We moved every 2 years. My parents were always moving, so I was always in a new school. I mean, it's tough enough to be the new kid all the time, but
Yeah.
I was that new kid.
Yeah.
So I dealt with a lot of bullying.
Verbal or physical or both?
Both. Yeah. Until I decided I was going to start working out and fight back. And
So,
I think
okay.
that's kind of what brought me into fitness.
Okay,
itself,
yeah. So before that, it sounds like Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins, he was a scrawny little kid, and
Which I was as
just
well,
grabbed the iron. He said, "I'm not going to let people mess with me anymore." That's cool, man. Like, kids suck, don't they?
Yeah.
Kids are so mean. Like,
Yeah.
they're the most evil things in the world.
I was watching American Sniper last night. Carson went to sleep and it was on, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it. And I love whenever he set him down. He was like, "There's three people in the world. There's a wolf, there's a sheep, and there's a sheepdog."
Yeah.
And he goes, "We ain't raising no wolves in here. And you ain't gonna be no sheep.
You're not going to be a sheep. Yeah, I like that.
You're gonna
that's
be a
really good
protector."
line in the
And
movie.
that always sticks with me. And I just remember growing up, like I had some friends that they you use the word adaptive now, and I remember always having to like stick up for them, like because we always had like the local bullies in our community that would come up and try to bully them, and then all it does is take like one person to stand up to that bully and say, hey man, why don't you shut up and back off, and then they usually don't say anything at all,
Right.
but you just have people that don't really protect those around them, or at least see value in that, especially as kids, and I remember working with like some kids in wrestling, especially. Man, that was like a big thing that we had.
What was the name of that?
About Kyle Maynard.
Yeah.
Is that who it was? Yeah, he was born without any
legs and arms.
Any legs or arms, and he was like a state champion or something?
No, he qualified for states in 5A, which man, that's in 5A. Collins Hill, that's tough.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
Like he was sticking folks, man.
We'll post the YouTube video on that on the
he just
on
got
the site as well.
Like probably 5 years ago or so, he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yep. Did that.
Oh, and he also did regionals. Remember sectionals in 2010 where he crawled up Stone Mountain? That was still like one of the most inspiring things I've ever seen. It took him like an hour and a half to get to the top.
It was a great
documentary. And Mike G was up there at the top. Mike said, I'll wait on him. And he said he saw Kyle coming up, and Kyle, he had these like cowhide things on his arms and legs so he could, so he protected himself.
Yeah. And
he said by the time he got to the top, it was just blood everywhere, and he crossed the finish line and just fell over and rolled over on his back and was like, thanks for staying, Mike. Like, told him thank you.
Wow.
Mike's just sitting there like, dude, you just got up there. And Mike said it was like one of the most humbling things he's ever seen. But now I got a question for you. Whenever you got somebody coming into the gym, obviously, like even when you came walking in here, I was training one of my clients. She was like, who's that? And I told him who you were, and I kind of was like, he does Olympic lifting, he does CrossFit, he owns a CrossFit gym. And she was like, oh my God, that's so awesome, da da da. Obviously, you're probably inspiring your clients. Now, when you got somebody that comes into the gym that, they're kind of intimidated or kind of scared of CrossFit, and they hear about it, or like you're going to get hurt doing CrossFit and all that kind of stuff, like I'm sure what you say to people, like people got to take that with, everything that you say behind it. You can't just take it with a grain of salt. Like, I'm sure whenever you speak to somebody, like you truly speak to somebody because you've been there, you've had to deal with it and all that kind of stuff. You lived a life prior to 300 pounds overweight and then being adaptive. And I'm sure, like, what do you tell the people when they come walking into your gym? Like, I'd be like, this is the baddest thing ever. Or
I would think that he wouldn't have to. There's at least one thing that he doesn't have to deal with that we deal with, because we get people coming in and it's like, well, I just don't think I could do that. I just know CrossFit is I couldn't do that. That's you guys are doing stuff and I couldn't do that. And I would imagine that no one is going to say that to you.
Well, I've had them say that, and the only thing I do, I don't even have to say anything. I just raise my hand up.
Raise your hand up.
I'm like, really?
Or you're
I do.
You just sit there and you go,
don't even go, or just say like, okay, well, that's fine.
Bye-bye.
So I mean, I guess that's one selling tactic.
Between that and me being overweight and stuff, so I show them the pictures and stuff. So.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Man, you're just like you're a walking billboard. That's for your gym. Yeah. I mean, you can't deny that. You're a walking billboard for it.
So, did you see when the kids were bullying you physically, mentally or whatever, verbally, and you decided to get in there and start training and do this stuff? At what point did that start to change for you? Like, did it change your mental outlook and like you were still being bullied, or did people start to respect you more? I mean, like just. How did that happen? Because it's not always like, it's not like you see in the movies where you have that 80s montage where somebody trains for about 90 seconds and then they come back and they kick everybody's ass. Which, by the way, I watched Kickboxer 2 yesterday, last night.
Netflix is awesome.
Oh, dude. All the kickboxers are on there. Worst movies ever. And Sasha Mitchell is probably the worst actor ever. But, God, I love those movies. Have you seen him recently, too? He's like juiced up, man.
Really?
He's like bigger than you and me. Yeah, he was like this scrawny little. You remember he was on that show like Step by Step or something
good
like
for
that.
him. Good for him.
So, but anyways, like so. I completely forgot what the hell I was talking about. Now I'm thinking about Kickboxer. Like was there a turning point for you when you were training when you noticed people stopped or kids stopped, looking at you and talking to you, in this derogatory way and maybe started looking up to you because now you're the source of inspiration. So when did that change?
About high school. I mean, I started getting a lot bigger, and people were wanting to start work out with me, see what I'm doing, and yeah, that changed completely. People looked at me in a different way. So.
Did you do any sports in high school?
No.
You didn't do any sports? I didn't know if you
Neither
really
did I,
tried
man.
wrestling or not.
Sports are for losers,
Hey, man.
especially wrestling.
They kept me out of trouble. It kept me out of jail.
I did sports. I just wasn't any good at them, so I'm
Yeah.
just bitter. That's all it is. I did all the sports.
No, sports kept me out of jail. I got to thank my coaches for keeping me in there, and my parents, too. If not, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, did you get in trouble when you were a kid? Were you like one of those kids that because you were trying to show out, like before you started working out and getting your head right and stuff, or were you always kind of you had your head on straight?
No, I was a troublemaker, but I never got in trouble.
Okay.
I was very good at
Never
staying
got
out of
caught.
trouble. Never got caught. Right.
Got caught.
Right.
No, never any stints in jail or anything
No,
like that.
no.
Okay. What if is there anyone that you because we're talking about you being inspirational? What is the one person that you would say you look up to the most, other than a religious deity, an actual person that you look up to the most, or that you have looked up to in the past to get to where you're at? Tough one.
Gosh, yeah. Well, I would actually have to say my father. I mean, he really pushed me all the time. I mean, he never babied me. He always made me feel like I can do anything. So I would definitely have to say my father.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's
I
awesome.
love that.
And
good.
is he still around?
No, he actually passed last year.
Oh man, okay.
Sorry.
There's a couple things that I want to talk to Rocky about. First of all, though, I want to give you a chance to promote and give us a little bit of insight about your seminars that you guys are holding. Now you say you've got a crew that's coming in there, but your first one is when is it going to happen now?
July 24th.
July 21st, and that'll be the 4th. 4th. I'm sorry. That's one day after my birthday. Bam. And that's at CrossFit Douglasville.
Yeah, it'll be right in our gym. Yeah.
And do you know kind of the goal of that? Are you just you're just helping people with whatever they need help with to try and do things that maybe they feel as though they can't do, or what is your goal towards this? I know you guys don't have the whole program kind of done yet, but what is the kind of goal and purpose of it?
Well, they come in and teach. They have coaches from all over come in. Adaptive athletes come in and teach different scenarios. Whether you get somebody that's in a wheelchair or somebody that might be blind, or
Okay, so it's almost more so like not necessarily someone who's adaptive coming in and learning how to do it, but maybe coaches like myself or Brandon coming in, learning how to better work with someone who's adaptive. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So I'm assuming they just have a bunch of different scenarios and, I guess appendages or whatever that would not be there. Huh. Cool. And is this a series that you're planning on doing, or I mean, you're a part of it, or this is going to be the first one, July 24th? Are you planning on going like nationwide with this, or is it just something you're going to do in the area?
It is something that's going to go nationwide. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, what you're going to do, you're going to hopefully have like a checklist, like a action, like a pamphlet or something like that for Justin and I, for coaches coming into your seminar, and he'll give you certain exercises or certain routines that you can do with certain athletes with certain, like a handicap or appendage mission or something like that. Like we can have a checklist of what they can do and what they can't do.
Right, and give you ideas what you can work around and things like that. Because I like the way they put it too. It's like it's not a matter if you're going to get an adaptive athlete that's going to walk through your door, it's when. Because eventually you will. I mean, it could be somebody with a broken leg. It doesn't have to be, missing a leg.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff in here. We've had people with broken shoulders, and this guy's a trooper, and he's like, well, I'm going to come in and do something. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
this is
well,
what
like
we're
you
do.
said, like everyone's adaptive.
Right.
I mean, we've got a guy that came in the box now. He's a firefighter, and he's got an amazing engine, ridiculously strong. When he was 12 years old, he broke his elbow and his arm right there in the elbow joint. I'm not sure exactly everything that was broken, but like 13 different places.
Wow.
So his elbow looks like it's dislocated always. So while he can actually bench press a decent amount of weight, overhead is almost impossible for him. And, working with that and trying to figure out a way for him to be able to hold something over his head. Like he said, his goal to come in was to put a 45-pound bar over his head. Yeah, so it's more of actually coaching the coaches on how to work with the adaptive athletes than actually working with adaptive athletes yourself.
Right.
Okay, cool. What is some of the biggest obstacles that you found working with adaptive athletes? Is it not necessarily who has the most trouble doing things, but is there a mental barrier that a lot of them have?
The ones that are just willingness to try something new.
Yeah, I've never seen an obstacle. You said it. I mean, they have that willingness to work, to do whatever it takes to overcome what they're going through.
So they're mentally tough.
Yeah,
it's
I
not that.
I can find they're mentally tough, just like you. I mean, you're mentally tough because of what's gone through in your past and everything you've been dealing with. I mean, you can handle stuff fairly well, and especially any kind of challenge. But for being able to get a new challenge, like a physical challenge that somebody told them their whole life, you can't do that.
Right.
And now they come in, they can do that. I mean, that's got to be empowering. Seeing somebody get through their first CrossFit workout that's never done a CrossFit workout, and they never thought they could do a CrossFit workout, but now they're doing it.
Yeah.
Once they've come through the door, though, maybe they've already, they've said, okay, I'm going to do this, and they're determined. But I'm curious to see, are there any adaptive athletes out there that, well, maybe not actual athletes, but is there anyone out there that maybe isn't ready? Like, do you ever see someone or talk to someone, like you said, like they're coming in like, oh, I can't do that or whatever. Maybe you start a conversation with someone and they feel as though they can't do that because they have, maybe a limb missing or something like that, and you've had to, to witness to them. I guess a horrible word, witness, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't come across that personally. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but I haven't come across it.
Because I'm just curious of the psyche of someone that's had to go through those types of things. Because like I said, once you walk through the door, then, okay, well, yeah, obviously they want to do that.
Mindset, yeah.
But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, maybe they're listening to this, that aren't quite ready to walk through the door yet. Is there any message or anything that you would say to those people that, maybe they want to do it, but maybe they are scared? And they haven't walked through the door. They haven't gotten in their head like, man, I'm tough enough to figure out a way around this.
Well, that's my main goal, to get this out there that, anything's possible. There are literally no excuses. You can do it. It's just a matter of how we're going to work around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. This is completely random. What's in your Netflix queue right now?
Can you say on podcasts?
I guess right now, Blacklist. I don't really have much. I haven't had much time to watch TV.
No, we're all about
TV.
some Blacklist. We're all about some Blacklist. We, as a matter of fact, the Netflix, I think it's over, and the next season isn't on there yet.
Not yet.
So we started buying them on Amazon. But we don't watch TV, but I've been buying.
I got a Hulu subscription, and I just got a commercial the other day. They're about to put every Seinfeld episode on Hulu.
You know who has?
I am going to be worthless after that.
Crackle has, I believe, because Jerry Seinfeld bought into Crackle, which is free. Crackle's free, and I'm pretty sure that has every episode of Seinfeld on it now.
Well, you just ruined that for me.
They may not have every episode.
Take the wind out of my sails, man. I thought I was about to be on the high seas rolling, and now you just took it all away. Nothing to look forward to now. June 24th.
You're a Seinfeld guy, really?
Oh, man, I love Seinfeld.
What's your favorite character, Brandon?
I like all of them. George, though. George is my man.
Is it because of the hair?
Yeah, it's the hair. And just like his, just like his personality and how he handles everything. He just blows up.
He's like Dilbert. What about okay? I don't want to talk about Seinfeld.
Sorry.
I want to talk about Blacklist because I'm obsessed with it. James Spader, his character on there. To me, he's just like this. He's like a badass villain Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Right. How did when you first started watching it? Were you like immediately into it, or was it slow? Like, was he cheesy, or like what do you like about it?
It took me about 3 episodes to really get into it.
Okay.
But
because
after
I'm not a cop drama kind of guy. Like, I don't like any of that, like Law and Order, CSI, or whatever. But for some reason, I really, really enjoy Blacklist.
Whenever I hear Spader speak, I like to just close my eyes because he's very ugly.
He's like a white Morgan Freeman.
No, he's not Morgan Freeman. He is the dude from James Earl Jones. That's what he's
James
like to
Earl
me.
Jones,
Like,
okay.
When you hear
Well,
that
you know
guy
he did
talk,
the voice of Ultron in the new Avengers.
yeah, I know.
movie.
Like when you hear him talk, I just close my eyes because he does not look like he needs that voice. He looks like he should be way more
does
badass.
look a little bit, yeah.
He looks like he should be way more badass than what he looks like.
He looks like
Yeah.
he should have one of those high pitched like Paul Giamatti,
Yeah.
like hey, snorkel. But he doesn't. He just has this very matter of fact about it. No, but yeah. So, do you watch any of the CSI or Law and Order or anything else like that?
No.
So you don't like that, but you like this show.
I like that show, yeah.
How did you come across it? You're just like, just screw it? Because it took me a good 3 months of like a dozen people telling me like, no, you need to watch it.
That's pretty much what it took. People in my gym just kept telling me about it. And one day I decided to watch it. My wife and I sat down. I was like, it's all right. After about 3 episodes, I started watching one after another.
So do you think he's her father?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because they keep alluding to it.
Yeah, I think so.
This is important, Brandon. Shut up. We'll get back to Seinfeld later. Just man up and start watching Blacklist.
Oh,
You'll like it.
Man, I don't know.
They keep
I
alluding
tried.
to it. I
tried.
Anyways, all right. So
I guess that and Impractical Jokers. You ever watch that?
no, I haven't seen
That's
that one.
Awesome.
What is Impractical? Is that on Netflix too?
Yeah, it's 4 guys. They just basically go out and play practical jokes on each other and other people, and they try to see how much they can push each other.
How much crap they can get
Yeah,
into?
yeah.
Has anybody got punched?
Pretty close. Yeah. Chased, punched.
Sounds like a YouTube channel that got greenlit.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. What about your favorite concert? I'm curious. What kind of music you listen to? What is your favorite concert of all time that you've ever been to?
I've never gone to a concert other than with my wife, and it was with Keith Urban.
Keith
So,
Urban.
yeah.
Now, was that for your wife?
That was for my wife, yes.
So, are you not a country fan? Or are you
I
a
was
country
about to
fan?
say, I enjoy it.
I mean, the way you answered that, it's like it's like you didn't like anything that you've just been to. You're just kind of like giving somebody like a prerequisite. Now I'm going to say this, but I've never chosen. I've never chosen a concert that I want to go to.
It's like he was apologizing before he said it. It was like, look, guys, I'm sorry. Edit this out.
But
no.
you know, my wife, she got these tickets to Keith Urban.
I'm a huge country fan, man. Just not anything past 1995. I'm not a fan of any country past like the mid 90s or whatever. So I don't know.
I'm a big Toby Keith fan, man. He stayed pretty cool past the 90s. Blake Shelton stayed pretty cool. He's not too hick hop.
Hick hop.
Hick hop.
Is that a thing?
That's why I call that new country. Hick
Is that
hop.
what it is?
Hick
I
hop.
think that's what they call it.
Speaking of which, have you heard the worst thing ever? That new supergroup that came out. It's got like the dude from Sugar Ray, the dude from Uncle Cracker, the dude from I don't know what else.
If you
like
say Florida Georgia
Dishwalla
Line,
or something like
Florida
that.
Georgia Line will be pissed.
It's not Florida Georgia Line, but like
Okay.
that's what they sound like, and it is the worst thing ever. I think their song is like "Bring Your Own Hot Body" or "Bring Your Hot," like BYHB. Bring your. It's go check it out. It'll shorten your life.
Okay.
Or
Spend 3 minutes of your life regretting.
no, you won't watch the whole thing. You'll get a good 90 seconds in if you're lucky or whatever. But yeah, that kind of stuff I can't stand. So what about music though? Since you haven't been a concert, that blows my mind that you're not a concert goer.
I've just never been.
Man, is like maybe that's his secret why he's made it so far in life. He hasn't wasted time on going to concerts.
They don't deal with all the foolishness that goes on with a concert.
So certainly you listen to music when you train though.
Oh, yeah,
You don't listen to
absolutely.
country
So
when
what are you
train,
listening
do you?
to?
It's a wide range. I can listen to heavy metal, rap.
You seem like a gangster to me.
Yeah.
Do you roll down? You roll
seem
down
like
the car with
You
it.
seem like a true OG.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, let's see. You say you're 45, right?
Yeah.
So you're, I guess Tupac, Biggie era.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit before that. So when you were growing up, you said you were getting into a lot of trouble. Were you listening to a lot of rap then? Like, is that what your thing was? What was your choice of music?
Metallica.
Yeah, or were you a Metallica guy?
Both. I mean, I listen to
It
everything.
makes sense.
I-
It makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why he never got caught.
I don't have a favorite music.
Oh man. Well, let's see. Hold on a second. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up here, I guess.
Okay.
Brandon, is there anything else that you wanted to ask him or talk to about?
No, I mean he answered my questions earlier just about
When we weren't on the podcast?
empowering.
Oh, okay.
Empowering people.
Way to go. We talked for 2 hours before we podcast and everything we talk about. So anything that you want, people can find you at Single-Handedly or single with no E, right? At the end, underscore handedly. And that's HANDLY. DLY, okay. Handedly? Handedly. Wait. HANDED. Okay, I didn't get the ED part.
Hanging out with a bunch of third graders over here.
Whatever. Just wait till I get to your sign off. Is there anything else that you want to plug?
I guess, check out I Am Adaptive. It's a really good group.
Is it iamadaptive.com?
Yes.
www.com.
You don't have to type it in. It's 2015, Brandon.
HTTP
third graders.
Semicolon /
whatever.
www.iamadaptive.com.
And the other one would be probably Lucky Finn. Lucky Finn Project. They're about the whole limb difference. Children that grow up like this, whether it be one hand, no hand, some fingers are missing.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of great things.
It's called Lucky Finn.
Lucky Finn Project.
Is it
Is it a charity or is it
charity or?
They help out a lot of people.
Okay.
A lot of awareness. They try to get help as much as they can to these children.
I got you. Just an awareness and kind of a promotion of adaptive, maybe not athletes, but people in general.
Just in general,
I
yes.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, as always, guys, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, Garage Athletes, at social media. We're at Garage Athletes. That's with an S. Check out all of our stuff on garageathletes.com. Also, be on the lookout. We do have our programs out for CrossFit specifically, which is a specialized program that you guys can check out. It has a testing phase, and then there are multiple programs that we put you in according to how you test. So it basically gives you the same thing that you would get from an individualized program without actually having to do an individualized program, which makes it a little bit cheaper to produce. We also have some weightlifting programs that we're doing that are I'm pretty excited about. Rachel Bomascino, the one that did your level 1 cert, and that she's a weightlifting coach at our gym. She's putting some it's kind of the same thing that we do for CrossFit, but for weightlifting, putting something together. So pretty excited about that. Be on the lookout for that. If you're in the Kennesaw area, go check out CrossFit Bound, right?
Oh yeah, CrossFitBound.com.
And you guys have a fundraiser or something that you're doing for www.crossfitbound. How do you spell bound, Brandon?
/ we're awesome.
Spell bound? Is it BWF?
BOUND. BO.
And you guys, CrossFit Bound is going to the games.
We are going to the games.
They need money. So catch them out on.
Yeah, if people want to donate a little bit.
Do you have like a GoFundMe or something like that?
No, we did not make a GoFundMe.
Okay.
No, it's just
Not
through
that
our. It's
desperate.
just no, we're not that desperate. But no, we just appreciate anybody, any help. When I was an individual, it wasn't too bad getting out there. But when you're responsible for
like 12 grand.
when you're responsible for 6 people, it's way different.
It's like being a dad, like a full household.
Yeah, going out there, I'm gonna be Papa Phillips, making sure everybody's going to sleep at night, making sure everybody's got their food in the morning. I got to pay I'm gonna play the dad role.
You should pin somebody else, make somebody else the team leader, the team captain, so you can just be there.
I can't do that, man. It's like it just kind of happens.
You're just naturally the father figure.
Yeah, because
you're so old, or
no. Well, probably. Are
you the oldest one on the team?
Oh yeah.
You are
definitely
really
the old.
You're not old.
Everybody else in their 20s. I'm not that old.
Aren't you younger than me?
My body's older than what I feel.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I always tell everybody, maybe a 1983 model, but I've got like 1 million miles on it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Rocky. I didn't even know he's 45, and he looks like
he does.
He looks like he's like my age, like 32.
We're gonna take a picture. When you look at the picture from up here, we look like we're the same damn age, and I'm 31. So either I'm doing something horribly wrong, or you're doing something horribly right. Apparently, it's all those concerts that I went to.
Yeah, that's what really put the age on you over there, man.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
All right.